Hi, Jim Van Zandt here, one of the pastors, Carlisle United Methodist Church, with Sermon in 3 Minutes. I'm here with my good friend John Wesley. He's one of the founders of the movement that became Methodism. Part of our tree here at CUMC, to be sure. These are his 3 general rules. I'm sure you can read them there. Those are 3 rules that he set up for the faith communities that he and his associates established both in England and here on our shores as well. Saying to these communities that if you follow these 3 rules to the best of your ability, you'll be as in line as you can be with being a faithful follower of Jesus Christ and being one of his disciples. And so we thought we would just take 3 weeks here at CUMC to look at each of these rules individually. And last week, it was the very first rule, do no harm, which sounds pretty simple when you think about it. Simple words, something that you might find in a 3rd grade classroom where the teacher would communicate that to the students there. And it actually would be pretty easy to follow if you and I actually thought about the consequences of every word we spoke, every deed we performed, of every hour of every day. But most of us aren't afforded that privilege, are we? We live in a very fast-paced world, and with our social media that's available today and the anonymity that it can provide, why some people are doing and saying some pretty mean and awful things to each other that they would never do in purpose. It takes a lot of self-control, self-discipline, restraint in order to follow this rule, because it means sometimes going against the urge that we have to get back at people. Following this rule, do no harm, means consciously making decisions not to lash back at the people who may lash out at you. Very difficult thing to be sure, beyond our own strength and willpower. And we thank the Lord that He's provided strength for us to do this and the Holy Spirit. And I know you experience the Spirit of God in your life, the still small voice that often speaks to us. I know you've heard it. We all have. And we know what it takes in order to hear that voice. We need to separate ourselves out to a quiet place to hear and to follow that voice. But it's that voice that can keep us from doing harm to others and can give us the strength and power we need to resist it. So we talked about doing no harm and the ways in which we often do harm ignorantly, and sometimes those things that we don't mean to do harm, but we are aware of in our lives. If following this rule this coming week prevents you from saying one harsh word or prevents you from doing one harmful act to another, then we've made the world a better place. And that's what we're all out to do, make the world a better place. So I'm asking you this coming week, do no harm. Make the world a better place. This is a sermon in 3 minutes.